They don't see themselves as white nationalists, and there are plenty of members of the Proud Boys, including in the chapter I visited, who are not white. In the Cape Fear Proud Boys, I met a man who goes by Scotten. He's a Native American. I asked him, "Do you consider yourself white?" And he was a little offended at the question. Absolutely not. Enrique Tarrio, who was the chairman of the national chapter and was one of the people who got a seditious conspiracy charge for January 6th, is of Black Cuban descent.
Brandon Tatum is at it again. So now there's video of Brandon Tatum defending the Proud Boys, right? And he's saying that the Proud Boys ain't they're not part of those W supremacist groups, right? And he's saying, well, they have black members. They have Indian members, and one of the members is Enrique, right? Torrio, he's a Cuban from Miami. Well, first of all, a lot of those people down there, they love to be under the W's, right? They use W talking points towards black folks all the time, right? When we look at the things that they support, the policies that they support, it's their anti-black community, anti-black people. We already know that. We know that you got a lot of people that may look like me, or maybe from other brown communities, that may be from brown communities. They do anything they can to be the model minority and be under W's. And when you deal with Brandon Tatum will do anything to be accepted by these people.
Where racial tensions are clearly high. There's been a lot of racial battles, and he hasn't denounced many situations. And I feel that...
Like which one? I don't know which one he hasn't denounced.
Having the Proud Boys march in Washington, D.C.
Proud Boys are not racist.
What would you say the Proud Boys are?
Well, first of all, the Proud Boys are run by a black guy. He's Dominican. He's a black guy. And Proud Boys have supported us at a few of our events. And they're black, they're Hispanic. They've painted the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys are
white nationalists.
They're not white nationalists. They painted them as a white nationalist because they were fighting against leftist extremists and Antifa. They're not nationalists. Maybe some of them have this perspectives, but I'm telling you, the guy who's running the organization is a black guy. They're listening to one side. I know guys in the Proud Boys. They're not racist. They supported one of our black events to protect us from Antifa.
So when they're saying things like white man fight back, what do you think the messaging is?
If you're a racist person, you see that as race. If you're seeing that injustice is happening to white people as well as black people, and you're standing up for the injustice against white people, there's nothing wrong with that. Because white people are under attack in many of these cases. We see it right now in the case that I just exposed with Nolan Wells. Because these boys who his friends were white, they assumed that they had, and they're putting their names out there and all this other stuff, and that was wrong. You don't do that to anybody just because of the color of their skin. And so when there's injustice against white people, I think it's wrong. When there's injustice against black people, it's wrong. And so the Proud Boys standing up for injustice against people other than just black people, I don't think it's anything wrong with that.
I'm telling y'all, this guy's grifted, man. He's making money all the way to the bank. He don't believe none of this stuff that he's saying, man. I'm telling y'all, it's the internet. He's peeped the weakness in the game, and he's exploiting it. He's being the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. Tell these W's whatever they want to hear, and they're going to make me rich. That's what he's doing. Because he knows, first of all, if he's saying that these W's are being treated horrible, they're being treated horrible by other W's. We were treated horrible by W's, and the same ones that's being treated horrible treated us horrible. Right? When you see the oligarch families and the elites, they never came and put people on trees. It was the poor W's that was doing that. We know that already, right? He knows this history, right? So when he's talking about injustice to W's, he's never, ever, ever made a video where he talked about injustice to black folks. I'm talking about black folks that come from good families. You know what he attributed them to? Democrat followers. Those are Democrats. See, that's the way he get out of it. If you deal with a decent black family, he'll say, well, I ain't helping them because they're liberals. See, he can pull that small time stuff on somebody else, but not yours. I'll be sitting there laughing at this dude like, is he joking? Right? He's making up all these excuses for these people. Then he goes into the Nolan Wells case, right? Has he ever seen an injustice that the court systems and W's done to a black person and used his platform to help that black family the way he's doing those W boys in the Nolan Wells case? No, right? Now this W woman from PBS, she went down to chill with the Proud Boys, and she was saying this.
So they're not racialist in the way that some other groups are. They're not racist in the way that you would see like from the Klan or from some very far right groups. At the same time, they're pushing an agenda that a lot of us would see as supremacist, sort of keeping in place the policies that have led to domination. If we look, for example, at the Supreme Court rulings recently that rolled back parts of the Voting Rights Act, that's something that this chapter and the Proud Boys generally celebrated, seeing that as sort of restoring the power that should be in the hands of white people. And so I think they see themselves as not racist because they're not opposed to the existence of people of color. And that's sort of where their identification of racism ends. They don't really see the structural racism and the way that people on the left are trying to fight that.
At the same time, you take a group photo before you leave, and in that photo, every single one of those members, many of them, holds up what's really associated with our hand signal. Did you ask them about that?
Over and over. They texted me before and text me now with the emoji for that symbol in their text message.
So we know the W's will always use an honorary tool and use them as a tool. And when they finish with their tools, they just break them. When they finish with them, they will use you because they know that you're a traitor. So they are never going to allow you to be in, right? You could be a mascot for us. Absolutely, we'll use you as a mascot. You can mascot us around, use all our talking points. But the minute you say something that we disagree with, you already know what's going to happen. That's what they did to Brandon Tatum when he was doing business with that protected group. You see, y'all was on Twitter. You see how they was tearing him down? Right? So they'll use these groups as the marching orders. Now, we know that Torrio and this dude Henry Enrique was sentenced to 22 years. When Trump got in, Trump pardoned him, got him up out of there, right? So he got most of those dudes up out of there after we saw what they did on January 6th in 2020, right? We saw that. Man, this whole thing is crazy. So now the FBI, they were saying, is this group on the FBI's watch list, right? Well, this is what they said.
You have to be a Western chauvinist.
The group was founded in 2016 by Vice Media co-founder and self-described provocateur Gavin McInnes, who has often preached language condoning violence.
Crap out of them. Trying to finish them.
Comedian Dante Nero was an early member of the group.
It started to grow. I went on the Facebook page and there was all this racist stuff on the Facebook page.
They deny that they are supremacists.
There's not too many racists that actually admit to being supremacists.
You think President Trump is speaking their language?
Absolutely. It's on their website.
According to the FBI, violence from supremacist groups is the single biggest threat to national security, as the president's own FBI director testified last month.
Racially motivated violent extremists over recent years have been responsible for the most lethal activity in the U.S.
And with racial tension increasing across the country, Charlottesville Police Chief Dr. Rashal Brackney.
So when you hear the President of the United States say things like that they should stand down but stand by, that type of signaling for hate groups.
In a statement to CBS News, a representative of the Proud Boys told us, and I'm quoting here, "We condemn all forms of isms, whether it be racism, fascism, communism, or socialism." Jeff Begay, CBS News, Washington.
So they're on the FBI's watch list. The FBI is watching them very closely. Brandon Tatum knows this. See, the sad part is, if this was a group just all black folks doing this, he would be all over them. All over them. He wouldn't give them no room to breathe. Because whenever we do, see, he says that it's not about race, but whenever we do something, we ghetto, we this. But I thought it's not about race. I thought all races could be ghetto. All races have their challenges and their issues. How come ours is only magnified by him? That's the question that got to be asked, right? How come ours is the only ones that's under the magnifying lens? Because you're making money all the way to the bank, bro. I see you.
There is a sentiment in this country that white men are under attack. You know, anytime a white guy does something, it's always in the lens of they must have stole money from somebody, or a successful white man, they must have done something to disparage black people. A white man can't even have an opinion about black people. If a white man say black people need to stop committing crimes, he's a racist. You know, white man bad. This country, even though it was founded by white people, they shame our founding fathers as if they were inherently evil. And I don't think that that's right. And so why can't white people have the same level of pride that black people do? And I think that we're all Americans at the end of the day. But if a white person got up right now and said, white power, what is your original thought on that? Oh,
Well, that's associated with the KKK.
But if a black person say black power,
which came about because of the Black Panthers. Well, I would
but Black
feel
Panthers were designated as a terrorist organization.
that's what they were called. Yes.
Well, that don't mean it was true, but I'm just saying, if you want to go back to historical context, you say that was a terrorist organization. Just say you were born 20 years ago and you know on the books this was a terrorist organization, and somebody go black power, you're like, wait a minute, that's associated with a terrorist organization. That's wrong. But then a person go white power and they go, that's wrong, but this is okay. I think that if you're gonna say that black people can say black power, black magic, black woman power, black people are the greatest, black people deserve this and that, and if white people say the same thing, you gotta be okay with it. And if you're not, you're being biased. Like black only spaces. Black people say black only graduations. It's like, well, what if white people said they want white only graduations? Then that's stupid. But it's stupid, right? I think it's stupid if a white person say we want white only. You're an idiot. And if a black person say we want black only, you're an idiot.
See, Brandon Tatum can get over with that small time stuff on people that's not educated. And I would ask Brandon Tatum, who was Mordecai Noah? Huh? Who was he? Right? Who is the founder of the minstrel show in this country that made fun of the black image? And it's been permeating through the communities and the mindset and the movies and the music, everything forever. Who was these people that dressed in black faces that imitated black folks, right? Who made the postcards and all the different things depicting black people, right? As all kinds of racial slurs and epithets, right? Who was these people? Who was the one that did the COON, right? Who was the one that did the Sambo and all this kind of stuff, huh? Right? So now when you hear W Power, where does that come from? Who was H.S. Chamberlain? Who was Madison Grant? Right? What did they write about the Negro? H.G. Wells, Margaret Sanger, huh? See, all these things matter in context to what he's saying when he's talking about W Power and them throwing up their fists, right? And then what was black power? What was it in response to? So you're saying as if they're equal, where you're saying as if black people put their fists up and saying power is equivalent to what W Power has done. That's what you just said. So you can pour that small time stuff over on somebody else. But we know that W Power has a lot of unalivings behind it. A lot of systematic and institutional power behind it. We know that. So for you to equate that on a platform with this woman and she didn't give you no pushback, I'm looking at everything side-eye. Because you can pull that small time stuff down on somebody else, but not down. Come holler at Uncle George. Let's have a conversation. Let's see how far you get with that small time stuff. But he supported the Proud Boys and he equated W supremacy and W power to the black organizations of the 60s. Come on, man, miss me with that. But yeah, let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.